I've had the privilege to travel to Ethiopia a few times, connecting with some ministries there. And one of those trips, we were visiting an orphanage for boys. About 200 boys there. The older boys were very concerned for the younger boys, said, we're glad that you're here. Thank you for the things that you have brought to us. What we really need, what these younger boys need, is protein. They need milk. They need eggs. They need something to help them grow. It was really interesting. They had this great concern for them. So, what we did, we bought them an ox because it was time to have a feast. Now, they were going to slaughter the ox right on the property. So I asked my friend who's with the agency, we were connected there, I said, can I be a part of that? He says, you don't know how to do it. And I told him, I said, yeah, I do. Here's how you go about it. And he just looked at me and said, you are not going. I'm like, come on, I want to be a part of that. The ox was slaughtered. Those boys had a feast. They had to. They had to have a feast. They had to celebrate some goodness and graces in their lives. It was unexpected. What do you do when you have an unexpected grace that comes your way? You have to feast and celebrate. I think that's what this story is really about. We call it the prodigal son. It's not really a very good title. It should be more like two sons who were lost and a wayward father who wasted his grace. Right? The younger son, what he is telling his father you're still alive, but I want my inheritance now. He is telling his father, I wish you were dead. And by all rights, by the law of Moses, to say such a thing, the villagers had the legal right to stone him to death on the spot. So much for honor thy father and mother, right? Now, the older son, he was also lost. He thought his obedience, he thought his work is what earned his father's love. But he'd had it all just because he was the son. And the father is very unconventional at best. First, you wouldn't give an inheritance when you're still alive. Second, when this son who had wasted everything came back, you would not run. A father would not run. A man of honor would not run. And yet he goes to greet his lost son. And certainly in such a case, you would not throw a feast. But as he explains, we had to. It was necessary. We must. Because there's a grace that has happened here. This one who was lost is found. They had to celebrate. And we're so familiar with this story, but you read it through and you might look at it different times and you might associate with one of the characters more closely than another time. Maybe it's the younger son. Maybe you're feeling off and wayward and maybe a little bit lost today. Sometimes we feel like the elder son. We think we have it all right. Sometimes we feel self-righteous. Maybe we feel sometimes that we're better than others. Or I might not be all that great, but at least I'm not as bad and terrible and horrible as that person. Maybe sometimes we feel like the Father, offering unconventional, lavish grace. Any one of those can fit us on any given day, and maybe you heard it this morning and it hit you in an unexpected way. That's what God does. Grace has come to us in the unexpected. I mean, we come here this morning and has life turned out exactly as you've planned or as you've expected it to? Almost never does. The unexpected is always happening. I remember when you see things that aren't right in the world, or maybe things have not turned out as you wanted in your life. I remember, I think my daughter was 9 years old. We went to see the third episode, which was the sixth movie of the Star Wars series, Revenge of the Sith. And the little young Anakin Skywalker completely transforms, goes to the dark side, and becomes Darth Vader. My 9-year-old daughter left the theater sobbing uncontrollably. It's not the way it's supposed to be. No. It's not the way it's supposed to be. So many things happen in this world and in our lives that are not supposed to be. See, now she spends her life trying to right things that are wrong in this world. What if we also spend our lives not only trying to right what is wrong, but spend our lives also celebrating the graces that come to us in unexpected fashions. Celebrating that grace that pulls us back into the arms of the Almighty. And sharing that with everyone who is lost in every different way. And what if we spend our lives doing that so that we can do nothing but celebrate? We have to celebrate the joy that can be restored in this life because of this grace. What if we spend our lives saying we have to feast? I'm reading through this and thinking about it, and I said, all right, this Tuesday is the day I'm finally going to have a fish fry for our entire staff. For 2 reasons. One, when my freezer is empty and I don't have any more walleye, guess what I have to do? I have to go get more. I'll take one for the team. But they've been working hard. Need a little grace, a little fun. We have to celebrate. We have to feast. See, now I said it publicly. Now we have to do it on Tuesday. So, what about unexpected graces that come our way each and every day, that come out of the blue? A kindness that comes your way. Maybe a relationship somehow gets renewed with some surprises from friends or family or complete strangers. What if you've wronged another person and they simply come to you and say, hey, let's start over? Unexpected graces. What about those that come on a global, even cosmic scale? Did you see, I think it was last week or the week before, what the Russian cosmonauts did? They arrived at the International Space Station wearing spacesuits of yellow and blue, the colors of the Ukrainian flag. Russian cosmonauts arriving in the colors of Ukraine. Somehow, even the heavens are decrying this tyranny. An unexpected grace. See, we have a God who not only waits for us, but will run after us, meet us, embrace us, throw a feast. Unexpected graces. We had a funeral here yesterday for Kay Johnson. Many of you know Kay. If you didn't know Kay, maybe you saw her here when we were wearing masks. The one she always wore was the white one that had the big, bright red lips on it. I mean, she wore it to bring joy. She brought joy to anyone. And you knew she was smiling underneath it. Now, Kay was someone from whom you could always expect the unexpected. She spent her life serving and loving others. She might say something every now and again where you go, Kay, whoa. But Kay lived her life with this mantra: I simply try to love others as Jesus loved them. What if that was our guide? To relish that love that pulls us back in, that unexpected grace, and love each other in the same way? That's the kind of grace that can truly renew our lives. We're here right in the smack in the middle of this season of Lent. Really do pray that somehow, in the midst of this chaotic world, that here you find rest, renewal, that you will refuel and refresh your soul. Because here we hear of a God who runs after us. That kind of grace, we should have a feast. Come and eat. Amen.